Hi everyone. So this is one of the two questions I gave you as homework or the assignment. Additional question 1. KY makes several products including product W. KY is considering adopting an activity-based approach for setting its budget. The company's production activities, budgeted activity costs and cost drivers for next year are given below. So they have given three activities: setup cost, inspection, stores receiving. For each activity, they have given you the cost driver also. So you don't have the complication of identifying the cost driver or even calculating the cost driver. They have given both. Machines are reset after each batch. Quality tests are carried out after every second batch. Okay. The budgeted data for product W for next year are material 2.5, labor 0.03 hours at 18, batch size 150, number of purchase requisitions 80, budgeted production 15,000 units. Calculate using activity based costing the budgeted total production cost per unit for product W. Alright, we'll start working on an Excel sheet. Right, product W. Dollar per unit. Direct material, direct labor. Direct material 2.5 given to you directly, 2.50. Direct labor 0.03 hours at 18. Something wrong. I have typed the equal sign twice. Correct it. Yeah. Then we look at the overheads. Overheads, there are three overheads: setup cost, inspection cost, and stores receiving. Setup cost, inspection, and stores receiving. These are the three. Right, so these three overhead costs we are going to identify using activity-based costing. So that we'll do on a separate working. Overheads. Right, what are the overheads we have? We have machine setup, then we have inspection, then we have stores receiving. How much is the overhead for each of them? The cost pool. How much is the cost pool? 200, 120, 250. 200, 120, 252. Right, that's setup cost. What's the driver? Number of setups, number of quality tests, and number of purchase requisitions. So the driver is going to be number of setups, number of inspections, number of tests, number of requisitions. All given to you, nothing to calculate. Number of setup 800, number of tests 400, number of requisitions 1800. 800, 400, 1800. So get the OAR for each activity. OAR for each activity. First activity 200,000 divided by 800. Second activity 120 divided by 400. Third activity 252,000 divided by 1800. as the number of activity, overhead absorption rates. So we are talking about particular product W. So I need to see how many setups it takes and how many inspections or how many tests it takes. Because what is this cost? If I go in a bit detail, this is this many dollar per what? Per setup. Okay, per setup. This is this many dollar per test. Third one, this many dollars per number of requisitions or requisition. Per requisition, that is the cost. Right. We'll take product W now. Product W, we'll look at the details. Come back. Budgeted production 15,000 units. Alright. Machines are reset after each batch. So machine resetting and machine setup are the same thing. So if you find the number of batches, that is the same as number of setups. How do you find the number of batches? They say batch size is 150. So 15,000 units, you're going to make it into 150 batches. So that is how many batches altogether? Look at this. 150,000 units divided by batch size of 150. So that's going to be the batch number of batches. Number of batches and number of setups are same. How do I know? It's given. It says, look at this sentence. Machines are reset after each batch. Then it says quality tests are carried out after every second batch. So 2 batches, 1 quality test. So how do I find the number of quality tests? Take the number of batches and divide by 2. Because every 2 batches, you're going to have 1 test. Cool. The number of tests for this product is going to be 1000 batches divided by 2. 500 tests will be done. 500 tests. What about the number of requisitions? 80. That is given to you directly. Number of purchase requisitions is 80. So that is going to be 80. Simple. So the total cost, total overhead. We know OAR is 250. That's per setup. It takes 1000 setup here. 1000. OAR is 300. It takes 500. Multiply. OAR is 140 per requisition. It takes 8 requisitions. Multiply. So that's the total. Each of them, if you divide by number of units, you must get the answer. Number of units we know 150,000. So setup cost per unit is going to be this 250,000 divided by 150,000. Wait, I will write the number of units somewhere. Let me write it here, number of units, so that I don't have to type 150,000 every time. 150,000, right? So setup cost has to be 250,000 divided by 150,000. Inspection cost has to be 150,000 divided by 150,000. Source receiving has to be 11,200 divided by 150,000. So total cost of the product is going to be per unit is going to be sum of all this. 5.78 is the right answer. 5.78. Alright. So check your answers. If any of you did not get this answer, if you have any doubts in what I have done, feel free to ask me. Alright. So this is the first question I gave you. Additional question 1. This is it. Now we will move on to additional question 2. This is additional question 2. K makes many products, one of which is product Z. K is considering adopting an activity-based costing approach for setting up its budget in place of the current practice of absorbing overheads using direct labor hours. The main budget categories and cost driver details for all company for October are as set out below, excluding direct material cost, labor, setup cost, quality testing costs, or other overheads. A quality test is performed after every 75 units produced. The following data for product Z is provided: material, labor, batch size, setup cost, budgeted volume for October. The requirement is calculate the budgeted unit cost of product Z for October using an activity-based costing approach. A similar question again, a similar one. Yeah, we'll take a new Excel sheet and start working for that. Alright, product Z, dollar per unit, material, labor, and what are the types of overheads they have? Setup cost, quality testing cost, other overhead cost. Setup cost, quality testing, other overheads. Material and labor, we can fill it directly. How much is the material? 21.5. Labor 0.3 hours. We need to get the rate. First we'll fill material 21.5. 21.5. Labor, what's the rate? How do we find the rate? Look at the first table. It says direct labor cost 128,000 in total, 8,000 direct labor hours. So if I divide those two, I should be able to get the rate, isn't it? 8,000 hours is costing 128,000. Divide it, you get the rate. So here we'll put 0.3 hours. Look at this, 0.3 hours into rate has to be 128,000 divided by 8,000. That should give you the rate. Yep. Setup cost, quality testing cost, and other overheads, I have to do a activity-based costing analysis. All right, ABC. Okay. Setup cost, quality testing, other overheads. Sorry, we usually do it in columns, isn't it? Okay, we'll take it into columns. Fine. Right. How much is the total overhead for each of them? Setup cost 22, 34, 32. 22,000, 34,000, 32,000. What is the cost driver for them? Given to you. Setups, tests, labor hours. Number of setups, number of tests, labor hours. Labor hours, number of setups was given 88. Number of tests is given 40. Labor hours is also given 8,000. So we'll get the OAR for each activity. OAR 22,000 divided by 88. 34,000 divided by 40. 32,000 divided by 8,000. Better to write the units. This is that many dollars per setup. This is that many dollars per test. That many dollars per labor. Cool. Now you take product Z. Product Z, how many setups it takes? We'll check. Budgeted volume for October 150, and they say tests are performed after every 75 units. So in 150 units, how many tests would be done? Two tests, because 75, then you reach 150. So number of tests has to be 150 divided by 75. Two tests. Wait, first one is setup. Setup. What is setup? They say batch size 30 units and 2 setups per batch. That's how we can find the setups. Hold on. Delete it. Right. They are making 150 units, divide by 30, this should give you the number of batches. That is actually 5 batches. And for each batch you are doing 2 setup. Each batch you are doing 2 setup, am I right? Yes, 2 setups per batch. So find the number of batches and multiply by 2, you get the total number of setups. Number of tests, 150 divided by 75, because they said every 75 units you do a set test. Labor hours we need to find out. Labor 0.3 hours per unit, so 150 to 0.3, 115 to 0.3. I missed the equal sign, right? So that many setups, right? So this many setups multiplied by per setup cost is 250. Multiply. There is the first working. See what I am highlighting now, that gives you the number of setups for product Z, whereas per setup cost is 250. Multiply, you will get the total setup cost for product Z. What is this 2? Number of tests. Per test cost how much? 850. So this has to be multiplied by 850 to get the total testing cost for product Z. This is the total number of labor hours. Per labor hour cost is 4. So this has to be multiplied by 4 to get the other overheads for this product. So per unit cost is going to be, we know number of units is 150. Let me write that somewhere. Number of units 150. So setup cost will be 2500 divided by 150. Quality testing 1700 divided by 150. Other overheads 180 divided by 150. So total cost per unit equals sum 55.5. So second question answer is 55.5 and the first question answer is 5.78. These are the two homework questions I gave you, or the assignment questions I gave you. Check your answers and let me know if you have any doubts. Now a couple of other things I want to highlight here. See, this is how we do answering for an F5 essay question, that is the part C question in an Excel sheet. If you get calculations, this is how you do it. Don't worry too much about the look of the page, formatting, highlighting, bold, italic, putting borders to boxes, cells. It's not at all necessary. Wherever necessary, leave some space. See, I was like, I wrote the cost pool here. This was a cost pool, and then I left a space. Then I wrote the cost driver, left a space. Then the OAR, left a space. Then absorbed the product. So if you want, leave spaces here and there. Don't waste time in formatting, highlighting, borders and stuff. The reason is you don't get marks for that. So why are you wasting time on that? Maybe if the final answer, if you are doing a working like this, maybe the final answer, if you want to highlight, make it bold. Okay, total cost 55.5. Just select it and click bold. That's it. Finished. So don't waste so much of time in formatting Excel. When you're doing it, leave spaces on a methodical way and make sure it looks okay. But you don't have to show off your Excel skills here. You don't get marks for Excel skills. Alright guys, good. So check your answers, both answers. If you have doubts, get back to me.